Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. It's me, Noah, here giving a quick reaction to what we've just seen from Queensland, Australia, as the hometown hero Joy OPETAIA has retained his IBF and Ring Magazine Cruiserweight World titles with a fifth round stoppage over the unbeaten Italian Claudio SQUEO. Yeah, Joy OPETAIA now leaves himself on the verge of big fights. Hopefully, anyway, much needed with the best of the rest in the division. But yeah, before we jump into the video, please make sure if you're not doing so already, drop a like on the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel at ASBR Boxing, and follow us on all social media. So yeah, to jump in, Joy OPETAIA gets it done in round five, as expected. To be honest, no surprises there whatsoever. As to how the fight played out, it was an underwhelming opponent from when it was first announced, and we'll talk a bit more about it in the future, but in the future of the video. But it's an unbeaten fighter that came, and Scale came to win. He came to give it a go. But you could see from the very first bell, this was a gross mismatch, and Scale shouldn't have been in the ring with him. The questions, very questionable opponents on his resume. But yeah, from the very first bell, Joy OPETAIA looked so relaxed, so fluid. You could see the difference in size between Scale and OPETAIA. It looked like a light heavyweight against a cruiserweight in there. And yeah, Scale had nothing for him. He was way too one-dimensional. One-dimensional, flat feet, looping hooks, way too predictable shots that Joy OPETAIA could see coming a mile away. OPETAIA does what he does best. Use that dazzling footwork, the quick feet to get in and out of range, and pepper Scale with shots at will, really. Stinging, spiteful shots. He never looked in danger, Joy OPETAIA. Even when Scale did occasionally land, OPETAIA still looked relaxed and, didn't knock a feather out of him. But yeah, OPETAIA really started to pick it up at around round three. Where he really started piling on the pressure, walking Scale down, unloading sharp combinations to head and body. And you could see it in Scale. They really started to hurt, started to sting. And it was the beginning of the end from that third round on. Scale just began to completely unravel. You know, OPETAIA was absolutely levels above in every aspect. Yeah, and just the next couple of rounds was more the same. OPETAIA walking him down, buzzing him with spiteful shots. Yeah, and really, it was like a shark that smelled blood in the water, just looking to get him out there. He knew this stoppage was coming, he sensed it, and he was ruthless in getting it in the fifth round. Big right hand when Scale had his back against the ropes, and Scale took a knee and couldn't answer the count. So yeah, Joy OPETAIA gets it done to maintain his own unbeaten record against Claudio Scale, taking Scale's O and retaining his IBF and Ring Magazine Cruiserweight World titles. But yeah, it has to be a huge fight next for Joy OPETAIA. The question of what's next for OPETAIA always kind of raises its head, and the fact that it's of vital importance that he needs a big fight next. He really does. It has to be next. There's no more of this, no more Claudio Scale type opponents, no more David Nikes, no more Jack Massey, Jordan Thompson, Ellis Zorro. They're not names that are worthy of the reputation that Joy OPETAIA has as this bogeyman and the best cruiserweight in the world. They're really not. He needs big fights, whether that be against the Jack McHaley Teal winner or the dream fight. It'd be Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, the WBA and WBO champion. Of course, he has a tough fight to get past himself with Uniel Dorticos coming up in a couple of weeks. But Ramirez OPETAIA is the fight to make for later in the year if Ramirez comes through the Dorticos test. It really is like Ramirez would give Joy OPETAIA all he could handle. Um, you know, Joy OPETAIA talent-wise is probably the best cruiserweight in the world in terms of all-round skill set, but he has to step up and prove it. Like Ramirez is a more limited fighter than OPETAIA, but he's improving with every fight. And what he done to Billum Smith, he dismantled Chris Billum Smith. It wasn't even close. That performance is as good as, or maybe even better than what Joy OPETAIA has done at cruiserweight. I know he beat Maris Breedis, but that was a Maris Breedis with one foot out the door on two occasions. That had more interest in a Jake Paul fight than a Joy OPETAIA fight, it seemed. But yeah, what Ramirez done to Billum Smith, say what you want about Chris Billum Smith, but that was absolutely outstanding. And a Joy OPETAIA versus Gilberto Ramirez is the fight to make next. if it's not next and, for whatever reason it doesn't happen, that's for another discussion. People saying Billum Smith or Zurdo Ramirez or Duck and Joy Opetoya. I don't kind of subscribe to that notion that Ramirez is. Billum Smith maybe was. That didn't look too optimistic from Billum Smith's side, but you know, for his legacy, it has to be a big fight next, whether that, later in 2025. And if it can't, we discussed on final prediction videos that it has to be a move up to heavyweight. If you can't chase these legacy defining fight, if you can't get these legacy defining fights at cruiserweight, move up to the money division at heavyweight where there's plenty of, fascinating matchups, legacy defining matchups for the big money. But yeah, we can't afford any more of this Claudio scale, underwhelming IBF kind of mandatories or the likes of a domestic level Jordan Thompson or Elisaro because Jai Opetaia is too talented to waste the prime years of his career fighting this level of opposition. It's frustrating. It is incredibly frustrating. Another mismatch today. But he is supremely talented. He can do it all, it seems. Beautiful footwork, light on his feet, in and out range, beautifully fast hands, southpaw, spiteful, hard puncher, and that killer instinct that was on show today. Yeah, that was just my quick reaction for Joy Opetoia stopping the unbeaten Italian Claudio Scao in the fifth round of their IBF and Ring Magazine World Cruiserweight title fight from Queensland, Australia, as Joy Opetoia needs now a big unification fight next for either the WBC or the WBA and WBO because he's good enough to unify the division. He's good enough to go undisputed, so hopefully we see it soon. Let us know what you think in the comments below. What did you make of that fight, that performance? Not much to kind of tell about Joy Opetaia from that, opponent-wise, but is he the best cruiserweight in the world? Would he beat Zurdo Ramirez? Would he beat heavyweights? Could he win a heavyweight world title? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And as I said at the start of the video, please drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't already at ESBR Boxing and follow us on all social media. Until next time, take care.